We not dying fast enough, so they find ways to get rid of us. In God we trust, in times we lust for the things we can't have. Scared to be yourself cause they might laugh. You have to free yourself or you might crash. Be a leader, create your own path. Don't let them treat you like you're just staff. My team got mad at Johnny Black.
I don't talk about nothing that I haven't actually been through.
Yep.
Personally. Man, I'm not gonna fabricate a story to make me look good. What? That ain't who that's gonna help. It ain't gonna help me, it ain't gonna help nobody
Matter
else.
of fact, it makes you worse.
Yes indeed.
Because once you get caught in the lie, you done forever. Nobody gonna come around no more.
Nope.
You get caught in the lie.
And you gotta keep going. You gotta keep the lie going.
Yep.
And like you said, what's the key? The root word to believe. You know
Lie.
what I mean? Lie.
L-I-E. B-E-L-I-E-F.
So Irv, man, listen, just to the people so they know, we talking to brother Irv. You know what I mean? One of my good friends, and I just wanted to ask you real quick, Irv, in your opinion, what would be the key thing you say black people in general, why we suffer the most? What would you say to that?
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of
Number
knowledge.
One reason why people don't know. And like we were always saying before, the letter J is less than 600 years old. So if you don't know your alphabets, you don't know what words mean, and you don't know when the words came out because you don't know your alphabets. You was taught to recite your alphabets in school, but you was never given the historical account of your alphabets.
So just elaborate a little bit on the misinformation as far as the letter J, as it pertains to, like, explain that to the people that may not know.
We all know the letter J is less than 600 years old. So all you gotta do is Google how old is the letter J. Don't take my word, don't believe nothing I say. Google how old is the letter J, because you're using a smartphone. And there's not one human being on this planet is smarter than a smartphone. Not one human being knows everything. The smartphone will tell you everything. So the letter J didn't come around until the 15th century. The Bible didn't come out until the 16th century. And that's why you have a God that don't look like you, because that's still your slave master God. Which means we are still slaves if you worship a God from your slave master. So that's a part we have to understand. We're still slaves as long as we have our slave master religion. So religion is the last shackle of slavery. If you get rid of the religion, now all the shackles off your feet, now you become freedom instead of freedom. F-R-E-E-D-O-M is what the people who gave us to us, and we took the F-R-E-E-D-U-M-B as no other choice. You had to take this. The same way you had to take the religion. Or you got hung on the tree, you got beaten, or you got ostracized or lambasted. No matter what, if you don't accept the Christianity, you ain't gonna make it a great life in here unless you self-educate.
Self-educate.
Self-education. Knowledge is power, and lack of knowledge makes you powerless.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Now, since we're speaking on Christianity, would we put that under the umbrella of all Abrahamic religions, because they all are intertwined? You couldn't have Judaism, you couldn't have Christianity without Judaism, and you couldn't have Islam without Christianity or Judaism,
Well,
because
also,
they all are an extension of the first one, which is Judaism, which is under the Abrahamic.
It can't be Judaism because the letter J is less than 600 years old.
Okay, but not the J, but I'm just saying.
No, Judaism. So we have to use a J. You said Judaism.
Okay.
Begins with a J.
Okay.
That has to be false because it's less than 600 years old. Once we know our alphabets, everything is clear.
Okay. All right. Well, let's say the Abrahamic faiths are basically dealing with Abraham and everything that came from out of that.
Well, let me tell you about Abraham, first of all. Abraham wasn't a person. It's a concept.
Okay.
Abraham is a concept.
So then all the religions
are pagan.
Are pagans. Okay.
Every religion is pagan because it was created by a man.
Okay. The reason why I wanted to, emphasize that, because see, a lot of people think, well, he's mentioning Christianity, so my out is Islam, or my out is, saying Judaism. But nah, it's like, okay, if you subscribe to one of them, if all of them, if Abrahamic faiths are basically being debacled, you know what I'm saying, then that means all the religions,
Right.
whether it's
pagan.
Judaism, whether it's Christianity, or Islamic. You know what I'm saying?
Now here's another thing right here. Let's go in the book of Galatians 4:21 through 20 through 24, where it says Abraham had two sons. Ishmael was one of them. Who was the other one? Isaac.
It's Isaac, yeah.
Right. The firstborn is supposed to get the promise, right?
Yeah.
How come he didn't get the promise? That's what it says. The firstborn always gets the promise.
That's
Yep.
because the firstborn wasn't born by the real chose or Abraham's true wife.
Well, you got
You know what I'm
Ishmael.
saying? He was born out of the maid. You know what I'm saying? But
See, it's all stories, so none of it's true. But if you want to debunk it, then you go into the story and show how it's false. A perfect example with Islam. I don't get into Islam too much because they some weird people. They ready to kill you. Same way the Christians hate you. But Abraham and Muhammad is 1,500 years apart. So how can that be your great great granddaddy? 1,500 years apart. Just do the math. Right. It's that simple. The letter J is less than 600 years. Abraham, Muhammad's great great dad, 1,500 years apart. And then you got Methuselah, who lived to be how old? Like 1,900 years. So you talking about Methuselah had his great 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 a picture of all his great 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 family photo. Can you imagine how big that thing? It'd be a whole stadium full up with people. So how's that true? It's not. Everything is a lie. It all started with slavery. You got your Christianity 1611. That's when the stuff started. And they used slavery. Remember we showed you the video how they used slavery, yeah. They used slavery and religion together. And they put it in the Bible. Ephesians 6:5. Obey your earthly masters the same way you do Jesus Christ. The same level. So your white slave master and Jesus are now the same. So now the white man is your God. And you can't deny that. And that's how they did us. And it's been going on for how long now? 500 years. When will it stop? It's only going to stop when they die off and when we die off. That's when it stops. As long as you got great-grandmom saying, go to Jesus, go to Jesus, go to Jesus, instead of finding it yourself, we're done. Yeah. So the enemy is our religion. Is our enemy. So that's our enemy's God then. If we the slaves and they the slave master, they look us as an enemy. That's why you get a police officer, go to the wrong house and shoot up everybody. And nothing happens. Because you're a slave. They wouldn't do that to the other citizen, which is white people. They're the citizens. We're the civilians. So we're treated like shit. Somebody can come over here and become a U.S. citizen and got more rights than you. How about that one?
So look, let me jump in, man. So with that being said, let's just tap on how we've gotten to this point where we treat each other worse than some of these other groups of people that you
That's
talk
called
about.
self-hate.
Okay.
The minute we see somebody that look like us, we hate them.
And how is that so, or why is that
Because we
so?
were given self-hate. You were told to love only your slave masters. Do not respect your other black people in the group. Only get it from your slave master. If you want to learn anything, like they say in the Bible, if you want to learn anything, ask your master. Yep. So what would it matter? Like I said earlier, if you were the slave and I'm the slave master, I'm saying slave master, tell me how to get out the situation you put me in. What are you going to tell me? Kikayo, nigga. Kikayo. Get back in that field. I ain't going to tell you nothing. It's been 500 years and they still ain't been told. How you going to be told now when they didn't tell you 500 years ago? If they ain't tell you in the past 500 years, they never going to tell you. And if you think they're going to tell you, then that person has a problem.
So in other words,
They have
any form of religion will not save us.
no, which is causing psychosis. So basically, they're borderline retardation. When you think a sky daddy up there is going to drop some money down, that's borderline retardation. If you think that, that's no different than Santa Claus for the kids and Jesus for the adults on the same day. One's false, one's real. Which one is it? They're both false, if anything's false. One consistency is all you need. I don't care what it is. You give me one inconsistent, the whole thing is done. It's a lie. Like Harry Potter and all the rest of that stuff. That stuff ain't true. All lies.
Okay.
Yup. And you have calligraphy writing in the Bible. So you have somebody like Mark, who's really Francis Scott Bacon, one of the authors of the Bible, poses as Mark, and he wrote, yeah, I'm Mark. This is what Mark did. Mark said this. That's the Harry Potter stuff. That's called calligraphy writing, when you have a person writing for another person, and that person's fake. So I'm going to create a character called Jesus, and I'm writing about Jesus. But it's not real. That's Harry Potter. That's the Bible. They're all allegories. That's Galatians 4:21. Which thing is an allegory? And an allegory is not a true story. It's allegorical. It's not real.
So is there any way we can fix this?
No. How about the apocryphy books been removed from the Bible? Why would you remove books if you want to give it to a group of people who just come over to this country and remove the books? And you wasn't allowed to read or write. You got hung on a tree, you got beaten if you read. So that means the Bible is unexplainable to the black man. There has to be told what's in the Bible. They didn't read it and verify it for themselves. The slave master told the slaves about the Bible.
Well said, man. Well said. You know, so
That's
for
even deeper too.
well, we're gonna get deeper. So
Yeah,
we gonna
love
say
our
this.
slave master so much that we will go against our own people.
That we will go against our own people.
Go against your own people because you love the slave master so much. And that's with me, with my family. They love Jesus so much where they will ostracize the black man, and I got 10 times more money than everybody in my family. Now, how did I do it without a Jesus, and they can't do it with a Jesus?
Wow.
What's up with that?
Good point. Very good
Yeah.
point.
Because you base your life off of go for self, and you were your own alpha and omega creator of your existence. In the realm. Whereas they are believing on some type of
A lie.
a ghost to come and save them and cure them out of their situation. You're more proactive. They're more into a situation where they're expecting some type of some spirit or something to help them out and save
Well,
them.
I'm self-educated and they're not. Like I said, knowledge is power. So they are powerless because they did not go and see if the stuff was true for themselves. You had a black preacher who told you this and that, and he don't know the letter J is 500 years old. So you got dumbness following even more dumbness. And that's why they call them a flock. That's what they are. Or you could call them the sheep. And when you have a lost sheep in the Bible, what happens? And that's where they are. And when you have a lost sheep, they're called Gaia, which is another god, and he takes all the black sheep as a sacrifice. Nobody knows that either. Let's talk about Gaia. The guy who wants black sheep as his sacrifice. And that's us. And who's going to do that? Trump. Hitler did the Jews. Trump's going to do the blacks. Same exact way. And if you follow the political of Hitler, it's just like Trump. Exactly Trump.
Okay, so
Well-
you single out politicians. So you saying that Biden's something better?
Ain't nobody better.
So I'm saying, so we can't just make Trump the boogeyman. We got to say that all of them.
No,
you know
Trump is doing the Hitler, what Hitler did to the Jews, Trump is doing, no other president is doing that. Biden is not sitting here trying to exterminate black people.
Well, now is he or is he not? Because
He
now if
is
we talk about the
exterminating black-
'94 crime
You
bill,
got to do your research. He's nothing but looking good, smelling like a perfume, but it's nothing but a chocolate covered turd. You can put all the chocolate over it. It looks all pretty, cherry. Soon you bite into it, it's shit.
So what tangible do you have that you can say besides just, that Trump, that you could say, here's an example. This
Here's
is
an
the
example.
situation.
Everything Obama did, what did Trump do? Overturned it.
And what benefits did Obama?
Yeah, I was going to say, now, what did Barack do?
Yeah, what benefits did Barack put in place for basically us, not for nobody else, but I'm saying that's solely because he's our first so-called black president. You know what I'm saying?
Barack ain't did nothing for black people.
So then what did? Okay, so if it didn't do nothing for black people, then what did Trump overturn? That was something that was beneficial for us.
The money. In the blacks together, money's up here. We down here.
Look, I believe that when Trump was, as far as my understanding, when we was dealing with Trump, and we had the economy and the money in the pot was much better than it is now.
Nope. That tells me a lot.
You tell me that the money is better
Hold
now?
up, bro. That tells me a lot about what you're saying, because when a president leaves office, you don't see his work until 2 years after he leaves office. There's no way he can do this stuff in 1 day, 1 month, and 1 year. There's no way. Same way with you. You can't do stuff in 1 day, 1 month, and 1 year. Cannot. It's impossible to do that. It takes years to sign a bill and watch that bill take effect.
Well, now let's, as far as with Trump, okay. But that's what I'm saying. But what bill that he passed that specifically, hear me out. But what bill did he pass that specifically was passed through to harm black people?
The Dodd-Frank. It's the bank. You ain't got no money, black people are harmed.
I agree. However,
Right. So it's a Dodd-Frank.
but
So
Joe Biden is putting money in the black community?
Ain't nobody gonna put money. Are you put money in the black community? No, nobody's putting money in the black community.
Come on.
Ain't nobody doing that. They're not. That's why you have 85,000 black churches in poor communities. So why you got over 85,000 churches in poor neighborhoods? That's
Well,
the answer.
But that condition existed long before Donald Trump. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Nixon too.
Okay.
And who was another racist in the daggone president? Lyndon B. Johnson. He was a racist. There were so many racist presidents. Presidents had slaves, didn't they? Didn't Washington and Jefferson have slaves?
Yeah.
If a president
That's a
has
fact.
slaves, don't you think the president still wants slaves?
Pennsylvania for Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a slave and then lose it, I'd say, bring them niggas back. I miss them.
Yeah, listen, but with that being said, right, we're going to save this conversation for the next episode.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We just giving them a little taste.
Each one teach one. And we need a lot of people to start teaching
I agree.
instead of preaching. They all want to preach, but none of them want to teach.
I agree.
And there's a major difference between a preacher and a teacher. And that is, a teacher gives you facts and truths and research and documentation. What does a preacher give you? The opposite of that. You get no documentation.
A quick fix to feel good.
You don't. You got preacher, private pork chop name, whatever he is. Pork chop, eating pig, eating a pork right after church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you supposed to cast out the swine. Soon as they walk down the steps in the morning, they casting in swine. You're supposed to cast it out. Why are you making a bacon, egg, and sausage sandwiches in the first thing in the morning, eating swine? And then wonder why they obese. Obesity is a sin. So if you got a fat preacher, you got a problem in your church.
Wow.
Because he can't even follow his own Bible. His own teachings he can't be following.
Right.
So why you follow somebody who can't follow their own teachings? What is that called when you follow somebody who can't follow?
That's a good question.
Yeah. But the answer is even better. Right. And that's the problem what they're doing. Then you got the old mom who's even fatter, doing worse. They're not following the Bible. How come they don't follow the Bible? Matter of fact, they're the opposite of the Bible. They drink, they go out and party, they smoke, they have unprotected sex while they're not married. All the opposite. They don't do nothing that Bible says. They can't. Even if they tried their best to do it, still can't do it. And that's the whole part of the Bible. They give you stuff that you know good and well you cannot follow, and then condemn you for not following it. So let's condemn these preachers who sitting here messing with these little boys. How about Leviticus 18:22? If a man lies with another man as he does with a woman, it is a detestable act, and they both must be put to death. Okay, so what happened with Eddie Long? What happened to him?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happened to him. He supposed to been put to death, and them two faggots who was sucking his dick, or his dick he was sucking, whoever they was doing, putting in whatever, them two should have been put to death too. The ones who sued and got the $2 million lawsuit out of Eddie Long.
Right.
Yeah. He should have been put to death too. Eddie Long and the two freaks put to death. All three of them should have been dead. Like they did on the cross. They had 3 people on the cross. All 3 of them.
Well, some might argue and say that they were children at that time.
Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter. For the follow the Bible. Right.
Uh-huh.
And if they grew up in a Christian family, then they should have known that. Not only their preacher taught them, but their parents should have taught them.
So the parents need to be held accountable as well.
Parents is always accountable until the age of 18. Always accountable.
I agree.
And that's why they put us black fathers in jail, so we cannot raise our young men to be men. That's why they put them in jail. It's the only reason why. So they could grow up fatherless.
Okay, so with that being said, should we not hold Joe Biden accountable for his 94 crime bill?
You don't hold no politician accountable for nothing. Because in another 2 years, you might not see Joe Biden again in office. It'll be somebody else. And you're going to ask them the same question. Then another 4 years, you ask them the same question every time somebody comes in office. So it ain't going to work.
Okay, people, listen. So like I said, we're going to hold off and get back to y'all with some more of this great information. Appreciate your time, Irv.
Yep. Yeah,
We got Brother Youssef over here. We appreciate his time.
Yep.
Y'all met Brother Deshaun a little while ago. So, yeah, we're going to get back to y'all, man, because we got a lot more to talk about.
And what's the root word for believe again? BELIEF.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. You need truth, not belief system, a truth system. And who has a truth system that's black? They got a belief system because they go to church and they get it from their mama and their grandmama. And here's the thing. If you was born in another country, let's say Thailand, would you have Jesus? Would you be a Christian? No, you would not.
No.
Because you get your religion from your parents or whoever raised you. That's where you get your religion from. And if you got a parent who smokes and don't believe in God, you get no religion. You got a parent who got Bibles all over the place, Jesus hanging up on the wall, I guarantee you're going to believe in Jesus or you're out the house.
Hey, y'all. Well, look, with that being said, we're going to sign off and we'll see y'all soon. One love.